Hey everyone, it's Matt with the Moto Dojo Casa Garage, and you'll notice the bike is looking a bit different. I started to strip parts off, so getting into the teardown stage. I decided with these videos I don't want to go through every little piece, just because I think it's a bit redundant. There's a lot of videos out there showing you how to do that stuff, but I'm going to record what I'm doing when I shoot it, so I can do like a little bit of a time lapse or just pop in for key areas when I'm taking stuff apart. Versus recording everything and having this long form of taking the bike apart. Since the last video, you'll see the carbs are off. I took those off, or I took those apart, and they were really nasty. They're just years of caramelized gasoline inside there, probably since 1983. And I'd got those fully disassembled and took them to my vapor blaster, and they came out pretty incredible. So he did a really great job. I do need to do a little bit more work on these because some parts were broken, but that is what it is. But I took those off. I started to remove stuff on the back end here, so I removed the rear grab bar, started to disconnect all the wiring here, and then I removed the inner fender. I'll probably next, I'll keep focusing on the back end probably. I'm going to put this up on the center stand and take off the rear wheel and as much as I can on this back end. But I did remove the mufflers on both sides as well, which required removing the foot pegs, which is this kind of funny setup that runs under the frame of the bike. I've always thought this is really, really strange. There's probably a reason, smarter folks than me designed that, so I'm sure there's a good reason for it, but it always kind of confused me. But anyway, I took that off and then took the headers and the mufflers off, so honestly, disassembly is probably the easiest part. It's getting it all back together in the right order is where the challenge begins. But what I'm trying to do in the meantime is take as many pictures and videos of how things came apart, because this is such an original example. Apart from looking like crap, it has a lot of everything's in the original position and place, it appears. So where wires are routed and the harness is routed are all things that after a while on an old bike might not be in the original place, but these seem to be all in the right place. So I'm going to take a lot of, maybe strap it down from the back and start disassembling the front. But ideally, we get to a point where I can drop the motor out of this. We can start to rebuild the motor and start to just take piece by piece and refinish, repaint, replace, etc. The whole time I'm going to be, like I said, recording the process as much as I can. I'll keep posting these as I go. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts or questions about the bike in the meantime. But if you do have questions, I can show you my process and we'll go from there. So, cool. Thank you. Alright, so I got these carburetors opened up, at least one of them, and just really nasty looking tar buildup inside there from old gasoline. So we're going to attempt to free up some of these parts, and I'm going to be vapor blasting and ultrasonic cleaning these later, but my problem is I might not be able to pull all these components out. Like, for example, this float is completely stuck. It's moving, but just from the tab bending. So I'm gonna attempt to remove this stuff. I might need to soak it in some Pine Sol or something. Alright, so we're gonna run these off. The other thing that I noticed that I mentioned before is the throttle plates in here are pretty stuck. They do move with a great deal of effort, but obviously we'll want to free those up. This thing is really on there, huh? There it goes. Alright. So yeah, same issue, just absolutely caramelized gasoline. Probably from the last time it ran, probably from 1983. So pretty incredible.